Hello and welcome to this presentation of the fourth quarter of 2023. My name is Susanne Linde. I'm CFO and Head of Investor Relations here at Wallenstam. Yes, it has been a year with high inflation and increased interest rate and war and so many turbulent things. But now the inflation starts to go down and maybe soon even the interest rate. But even in those times, we as a company stand strong, both financially and have attractive properties. That's why we have this headline, Financially Strong with Attractive Properties, to our report. So what have happened during this fourth quarter? We repurchased some more of our own shares, 1.5 million. So now we have 3 million of our own shares. We have also vacated 2 properties, New York to an established co-op by the tenants in the property, and it's a property in Stockholm. And then in Uppsala, Kvarngärdet, it's a part of the deal with Asper from the summer of 2021. The deal was that the property was taken over when it was fully completed because it's a new constructed property. We have also signed a lot of commercial lettings during this quarter, and I will show you more later on. The board has proposed a dividend of 50 öre per share, and this will be paid in 2 pieces, the first in May and the second part in November. And one more event is that Erik Klang will be a new group member from 2024, and he's a business strategist, and in this environment there may be some transactions, so it will be a good contribution to the group. So from now we are 6 members, and it's Hans Wallenstam, CFO, and Mattias Aronsson, Vice CEO and Regional Director, and Hans Wallenstam is not CFO because it's me. He's CEO, of course. And then we have Marina Fritsche, Vice CEO and Regional Director of Gothenburg, and me, Susanne Linde, and Elisabeth Vansvik, Communication Director. So, Wallenstam today, a short summary of the company. We have 208 properties with a total area of 1.4 million square meter and a total property value of 63 billion. And 55% are residential properties and the rest commercials. The occupancy rate in total is 97%, and this shows that we have an attractive property holding. And in total, we have 1,081 apartments under construction right now. So our attractive locations, they are in Stockholm, Uppsala, and Gothenburg, the growing regions of Sweden. And the distribution of the rental value is residential, almost 50%, and the rest is commercials. And the main part or half of the rental value from commercials are from offices. In total, it's 28%. And it's almost as the same as last quarter. And our climate targets, it's the first year that we report our climate targets. All 3 of them has a very good outcome. And if we start with scope 1, it is minus 36%, and the reason why is because we have replaced some cooling systems with refrigerants. Scope 2 has decreased by 24% and is a result of our energy efficiency projects, for example, additional insulation, solar cell installations, and so on. Scope 3 has an outcome of minus 90%, and this target of minus 55% is very tough. And we do climate calculations earlier than before, so we can change to a more climate smart material. But I think there's a good outcome from all three of the targets. And the EU taxonomy, this is the second year when we report this, but it is on a freely basis. We are not covered by the EU taxonomy regulation until financial year 2025. But we have increased the green part in all three categories. 42% of our turnover is from green properties, and 54% of the investments, and 25% of the operating expenses that are included in the taxonomy. And also this is a very good work from us, I think. Then we come to the income statement and start with the NOI, the net operating income, and it has increased by 6%. But if we take the energy price, because it has been a very high energy price, as you all may know, but we are self-sufficient, and if we don't take that into account, it's an increase of 10%, not 6%. So an NOI of 2 billion for this year. And here are more details about what have happened in the NOI. If we start with the rental income, it has increased by 240 million, where half of it comes from the new construction and also large projects which are completed. And because of the sales and acquisitions, we lost 44 million in rental income. And in the comparable holdings, we have increased by 151 million. And in total, it's a 3.3% up for residentials and 9.1% in commercials. The operating expenses has increased by 128 million, where a big part is from higher energy price by 86 million. We have also done more maintenance in our properties, combined with higher taxes and inflation. So in total, we have increased our NOI by 112 million. We have completed one property, 82 apartments in this fourth quarter. So this is not fully completed. It's in Uppsala, Kompositören, where we have 69 apartments left, which we will be completed now in this first quarter of 24. So in total, for this total year of 2023, we have completed 837 apartments. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have signed a lot of new agreements during this fourth quarter, and here you can see some of them, and you can also see that we have a great demand for our commercial premises in Gothenburg CBD. And here are just some of the agreements. With this, we have an occupancy rate in Gothenburg of 95% and in Stockholm 71%. And in Stockholm, we have just 10% of our total commercial area. We have also extended agreements with many tenants. We have a lot focus on keeping existing tenants, and of all leases that expired during the year, 90% remained as a tenant. The administrative expenses has increased by 21 million compared last year, and this year was affected by non-recurring costs of 10 million for changes aimed at adapting the organization to prevailing market conditions. The average interest rate on closing day is 3.24%, which is 1 percentage unit higher compared last year, which gives us 300 million higher financial expenses compared to last year. We have also extended our fixed interest period by extending our interest rate derivatives, and it's on this. You can see that. We extended the volume from 2025 and put them to 2033 instead, which means we have new maturities of interest rate derivatives until 2026. This cost us 5 basis points in the current average interest rate, but it is an insurance for the future. We have almost 16 billion. We have 16 billion interest rate derivatives, and we have secured almost 60% of the total loan volume at a good level of interest rate and an average fixed interest rate term of 40 months. So in total, the income from property management decreased by just about 200 million. This quarter, we sold Kvarngärdet, which is recognized as development property sales, and it is also include other co-op units that we sold during the year. But Kvarngärdet is the main part. The operating income from energy is around 50 million higher compared last year, if we cleared for the selling of wind turbines that we did last year. The profit before changes in value amounts to 1.2 billion, which is 200 million lower than last year here as well. Then the changes in value, and I start with the financial instruments. At closing day, the 10-year swap decreased a lot since the start of the year, which resulted in decreased value of the interest rate derivatives. And in total, the changes in value in financial instruments are minus 916 million. The share price went up by almost 11 kronor during the year, and that affected the value of synthetic options to all our employees by 68 million. Then the changes in value of investment properties is minus almost 850 million. We have increased the direct yield requirements for a lot of the residential properties by 10 to 30 basis points and commercials by 10 basis points. And we have also written down the market value of the land for future projects, and the value has been positively affected by higher NOI, sold properties, and also completed new constructions. And I made a graph here to visualize examples of our evaluation the last 13 years. And this is just examples. The yellow line is the swap rate, the 10-year swap rate, and the blue line is an example of a CBD commercial property, and the dark blue is a new constructed residential property, and the gray an older residential property. And you can see our yield requirements here. And as you can see, when the interest rate was falling deep, we didn't decrease our yields so much. That is why we don't increase so much now when the interest rate is going up again. Hopefully this was a good example and you understand our valuation. Yes, and the balance sheet. This means that we have an investment property value of 63 billion in our balance sheet. And it's just 58 billion of the value that is investment properties in operation. The rest is ongoing projects or land and our future projects without a cash flow. We have invested 2.4 billion during this year in construction, and it's almost on the same level as last year. And this is both in our new construction, but also in existing properties, for example, energy saving projects and refurbishments. And we have this 1,081 apartments in ongoing construction. So we have started one project this year. And hopefully we can start more 2024, because you see here that we have a high demand for our product of 280,000 standing people in our own housing queue. Our interest-bearing liabilities amount to 29 billion, and it's 700 million more on average compared to the same period last year. And our funding sources, we are mainly financed through bank loans, as you all may know at this moment. And our strategy is that our investment properties will be financed through bank loans. And when we issue some bonds, they will finance our wind turbines. And the commercial papers, we use them instead of construction credits for our new construction. So this is how we think that we will finance our operation. So here page you see how our distribution is in our financing, and as you see our focus is bank loans, 98%, and we have commercial papers of 373 million, and one bond left of 334 million, and this will expire in April 2024. So to summarize with some key ratios, surplus ratio 73.3%, which is has decreased if you compare last year, but the main reason is the energy price. And I haven't talked about the ICR. It's 2.6 times, and the LTV and equity ratio both are 46%. So we think that we have a stable financial situation. And the total repurchased shares are 3 million. And the equity per share is 46.4 kronor per share. And the net asset value per share is 56.2 kronor per share. And we keep the target of 100 until 2030, of course. The summary of 2023, what have we done? We have invested in 2.4 billion in our construction. We started one project of new construction, 172 rental apartments. We completed 837 apartments. We installed solar cells 5,460, which means it's like one wind turbine. We also sold properties at the value of 500 million. We signed new commercial agreements of almost 26,000 square meters. So I think that in this turbulent time that I started, I think that we have done a very good year as a summary of 2023, and we think bright about 2024. So with this one, I'm happy to present the first quarter of 2024 next time. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.